I finally broke my phone addiction, and here is how. Today is the 12th day of my logout in public challenge, and I have interesting things, I guess, to share with you. So just go straight into it. What happens in the last few days? So today, for example, I am at 1 hour and 12 minutes of my screen time usage, but actually I had a WhatsApp call during 25 minutes. So actually we are very good. And this is my first point. It's like it started to be easy for me to not use my phone, to not go on Twitter, to not consume YouTube, etc. And it's like I forgot about these things. I forgot about Twitter, I forgot about YouTube, and I'm no more feeling the fear of missing out now. These things are almost not existing for me right now. So this is my first point. And that's why I think that I've managed to actually, at this moment, cure my phone addiction and social media addiction. And that's why I've created something that is actually summarizing all of the principles I've used to actually cure and disconnect myself from these things, and it is called the AntiDopamine Detox Manifesto. So it's 10 principles, contrarian principles, that actually cure phone addiction. This is what I've used to arrive to the current state I'm in, and you will find it directly in the description. It's all free, and there is my 10 best principles and rules I have, let's say, discovered in some way during this 12th first day of phone addiction cure. I didn't want to include in this manifesto the mainstream advice. Okay, so you will find, for example, the first principle is why every hack or tip you have tried has failed you. And so I explained this briefly, and then everything else is some advices, some insights to cure your social media and phone addiction and screen time in general addiction that you will maybe never hear in other videos or other content. Okay, this is based on my experience on this challenge, and I only include the contrarian things and the things we don't have the habit to hurt. Okay, so down in the description, you just click and you will be able to download it. Use these principles to cure your own phone addiction. Now, the second point is that, okay, I broke, if I consider it as broken, my phone addiction, but it's like I'm letting my guard down right now. And because I think that I'm done, I think that now I'm the most vulnerable, because I consider that I won the battle. But as you know, when you think you are done with something, or you won the war, or you won the battle, it's in this particular moment that the enemy can actually harm you the most. And that's why I think that I need a bigger challenge right now, and I think to level up the standard or the objective of this challenge, because I think that it will be too easy for me to just say to myself that the challenge is to just reduce my screen time by 70% or 80% for 30 days. So I have to level up the objective, and that's why I need a bigger challenge. So I have two parts for this new challenge. The first part, I've already talked about it in the previous video of this series, is to not just limit the screen time, but limit the pickups of my phone every single day. So right now I am at about 30 to 40 pickups every single day. And as I explained in the previous video, it's almost as important as the screen time. Because if you just focus on the screen time and you allow yourself to pick up your phone 1,000 or 100 times a day, you are still ruining your productivity, your focus, your attention, etc. Even if you just pick up your phone and check WhatsApp, emails, Twitter for 1 minute, okay? So I have to focus much more now on the pickups, okay? This is the first thing. And the second thing is to actually replace what I removed from my life, which is screen time, by something which is better, which is healthier for me, and which is deeper. And so actually I thought about several options. The first one was writing. The second one was reading. So I'm already reading, but it will be about reading much more. Maybe, for example, let's say 5 books a month, for example, or let's say simpler, 1 book a week, 4 books a month. And the third option is to focus much more on what I'm actually studying this month, which is Islamic studies. And so this is something that is the thing I consider that it is enriching me the most, and which is the deeper thing I can acquire, and that will make me someone which is better every single day. Because if I'm a better Muslim, I'm a better person in general, and I'm a happier person also. Okay, so this is the third option I've chosen for the next days, and I think that I have to include the reading of these books much more in my day, and I have to include them to replace the previous trigger moments in which I was using my phone in the past. Okay, so about the trigger moments, you can take the manifesto. I explain what are these trigger moments. If I can replace these pickups moments of my phone with something which is nourishing me and making me someone which is more deeper, someone which is more spiritual, etc., it will be all win. And this comes from a reflection I made, which is actually, okay, I want to break, and a lot of people want to break their screen time or their screen addiction, their social media addiction. But why? This is just the surface of the problem. Okay, my problem is that I consume too much distractions, too much YouTube, too much Twitter, etc. My problem is that I have a huge screen time every single day. But actually, why was it a problem for me? It was a real problem for me because if I was keeping doing this, I will stay average. I will stay someone which is superficial, someone which is average, someone which produce things that are mediocre. And this is something I hate. And this is what I don't want at all in my life. And so I realized this. I realized that screen time is just the surface of the problem, but the real problem and the real fear I had is to be someone which is average, someone which is not deep, someone which is not spiritual, someone which has just as topics of discussions the news and politics and stuff like that and sports and etc. And this is something I don't want at all. Okay, and that's why now that I actually solved the surface problem, which is the screen time, the addiction to social media, if we consider it as already solved, now I dig into the real problem, which is depth, what I want to produce, what I want to create, how do I want to nourish myself, who I want to be, etc. And that's very interesting, and that's why I'm considering several options to replace the screen time. Talking about this, I thought a lot about creating a sort of model, a sort of framework to pass from, let's say, superficiality to depth. I called it the DEEP model, DEEP. I'm still working on it, but I think that I will be able to talk about it in the next video. If you feel these things I talk about, it will be, I guess, interesting for you, right? And of course, I will be very interesting by what do you feel, what are you aiming, and why do you want to break your phone addiction, and what are you looking for actually? So if you can tell me all about this in the comments, that will be very valuable, and so I will be able to adapt some things in the next video when I will talk about the DEEP model. All right, so it was a pleasure to give you this video, and definitely download your AntiDopamine Detox Manifesto, which is down below in the description, and see you in the next video.